ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Coach's Corner. I'm your host, Bruce Peavy. We're here with head Wildcat coach Jeff Herron. Coach Herron, the Bradwell Institute Tigers coming to town. Kind of a weird situation this year. They look like a team that's got plenty of talent, but their record does not show that.
Well, they've been up and down. We talked about that, before the game, and that, they would look really good at times and look really bad at times. And our game was kind of indicative of that, Bruce. They started off and they got a couple of first downs. They only had 4 first downs in the entire game, and I think they got 3 of those on kind of their opening drive. But then right after that, they shot themselves in the foot, threw an interception, and wound up throwing 4 interceptions on the night and had a couple of fumbles. So, they played against us kind of like their season has been. But, the other side of that is our kids played pretty well.
And so, coming in with, they had a commitment to Georgia on the offensive line, a lot of talent. And it just seems like the mistakes and some little something would happen in the game, it would just set them back and just never could really get it going.
Well, luckily for us they did, and you're right, they do have some talented kids. Number 58, the kid going to Georgia, is an extremely nice kid, good kid. He came up and hugged us all after the game, the coaches and stuff, and he is a very good football player. But our guys were excited about playing against him, and probably the first play of the game, Devin Cousin just jacked him up and got off a block and made a play, and they responded to that challenge, and it makes me wonder why Georgia isn't offering our guys instead of those guys. But again, that's another show. We can talk about that. But our kids played well, and it wasn't emotionally and mentally we weren't at our peak. But I think they were kind of maybe like the rest of us looking ahead a little bit.
That was my next question. Any thoughts that they may be looking ahead a little bit to Treasure Coast?
Well, we certainly, we hoped that didn't happen, but our kids are smart enough to know, and you can't lie to them and all this stuff, and so they kind of always know what's ahead, and no matter what we want to think, even as coaches, I can't tell you that I didn't watch a little film last week on them too, so while our focus was on Bradwell, there was a small part of that focus that I'm sure was somewhere where it shouldn't have been, probably.
All right. We'll be right back after these messages with the highlights of the Camden County Wildcats and the Bradwell Institute Tigers. touch a little bit on the field goal. It was the talk of the game. It was the talk in the press box, and it was a very exciting moment during the game. talk a little bit about your and Bryce's conversation about that, both of the field goal tries.
Well, the first time we were fairly, we were getting closer, and I turned to Nathaniel Troll, who coaches our kickers, and I said, "Can we kick a field goal from here?" And he goes, he said, "Let's let Pecco try it." And I don't remember if we lost yardage or something, incomplete on the next play or whatever, but in that interim, he said, "Well," he goes, "it's a 57-yarder. He goes, "You better let Bryce try it." And one thing, Bruce, we're very fortunate. We've got 3 excellent kickers. Jordan Reeling, who does most of our extra points, very accurate, very dependable. Keith Pecco, who is our sort of long-range field goal kicker. We have felt like it kicked a 45 or 7-yarder up at Ohio, I guess. And then Bryce, who kicks off for us. And we felt like it was such a long field goal, though, that he probably had the strongest leg. And again, Nathaniel, he suggested that, we let Bryce try it. And as soon as he hit it, you could tell, he just crushed the ball. And we thought he had a chance, but it went a little bit wide right. But he really, he nailed that one. And, so as he came off the field, he was upset that he had missed it. And he said, "You let me kick another 57-yarder. He goes, "I'll make it." And, I said, "Well, we may not get in that same situation. And how often are you going to be at the exact same spot?" But lo and behold, it turned out that, a couple minutes later, right before the end of the half, we're in that same spot. And, he did hit it. He didn't hit it as good as the first one, but he hit it well enough it would have probably been good from probably 62, 63. And, all the guys did a great job on that team, as far as blocking and stuff. Steven Van Zandt, our snapper, had a great snap. Tristan Jones held it well, and he made it. And it was an exciting play, no question. And, I've had the opportunity. I saw Dax Langley kick a 63-yarder when I was coaching at Cedar Shoals against us. I saw Brett Conway kick a 59 and a 57-yarder against me when I was coaching at Cedar Shoals. He was in Parkview, and now this one. So 4 of the, what I guess are the top 10 field goals in the state history, I've had an opportunity to witness. And not to mention the fact that I heard that JC said on the radio that he had kicked several of those in practice. He just never got credit for it in the game. So
I'm sure he said it.
That's what I heard. That's not my story, and I'm sticking to it. That JC said he was capable of that when he was in high school, so that probably wasn't a record. I don't know.
Yeah. This week, Treasure Coast coming in. It's been a game that we have much anticipated. I'm sure the team and the coaching staff feel the same way. Your scouting report on Treasure Coast?
Well, they're from South Florida. That's all I need to say. Probably, we had 2 teams from South Florida last year, and I think as coaches, as players, as fans, we were all surprised by the talent and the speed level. It's just different there, and Treasure Coast is no exception to that rule. They are very fast, very athletic. Have some tremendous athletes on the field. So I've had an opportunity. I got to watch them in their spring game. We've got some film from last year. We got to film from this year. So, we've had plenty of occasion to watch them. They were going to be a good team anyway, but they had a kid transfer to their school in the winter named Travaris Copeland, who supposedly has been offered by all the SEC schools as an athlete, and he plays quarterback. And he is just lightning fast and scares us to death, because all their plays offensively have really evolved around him, either just running and people not being able to tackle him, or him scrambling around, then finding receivers after the fact. So they do a good job running the football. They've got some good running backs, but he's the thing that makes them go. So we've got our hands full. They're very good on defense, very athletic. They're not going to give up a lot of big plays probably, and then you turn around and they have big play capability on offense.
All right. This Friday night, 7:30 p.m., Chris Gilman Stadium, big game, Treasure Coast Titans come to town. We hope to see you there.
Join us next week on Coach's Corner on Camden TV Today.